What's good, YouTube? Sensational Sinceres here, and I'm back with another Tom Clancy's The Division Vendor Reset video. We're here for May 28th, 2021's Vendor Reset. So let's get right into this to see what we got good for this week. For our first gear items, head over to Camp Hudson. Here the gear vendor has a tactical mask with the talent rehabilitated on there. And then also I mentioned it because I'm here, we got a prototype electronics mod with 264 electronics and 2% all resistance. For our next gear items, head over to the base of operations. Here the Dart Zone vendor has a military P416. Also here we got a prototype performance mod with 3.50% seeker mine damage. For our next gear items, we're still at the base of operations. Head over to the weapons vendor. Here we got a Tyrant Suppressor. For our next gear items, we're still at the base of operations. Head over to the gear vendor. Here we got a Spec Ops Mask with the talent rehabilitated on there. And also here we got a prototype performance mod with 5.50% sticky bomb explosion radius. For our next gear items, we're still at the base of operations. Head over to the advanced weaponry vendor. Here we got a Police T821. Also here we got a custom M44. Next here we got a Black Market RPK 74E. Next here we got a heavy magazine spring. Also here we got a Tyrant Suppressor. For our next gear items, we're still at the base of operations. Head over to the special equipment vendor, and here we got a Cassidy. Next here we got a G36 enhanced. Also here we got a military M870. Also here we got a SOCOM MK20 SSR. Next here we got a tactical mask with the talent Tenacious. Also here we got a tactical vest with the talent Rapid. For our next gear items, we're still at the base of operations. Head over to the special blueprints vendor, and here we got a Firearms Mask blueprint with a gear score of 256. For our next gear items, head over to the cavern. Here the gear vendor has a Spec Ops armor with the talent Rapid. Next here we got a prototype firearms mod with 196 firearms and 4% damage to elites. And also here we got a prototype stamina mod with 267 stamina and 4% signature ability resource gain. For our next gear items, head over to Camp Clinton. Here the special equipment vendor has a pecan if you like to run this weapon. Next here we got a historian. Also here we got a liberator. Next here we got a Cassidy. Also here we got a tactical UMP 45. Also here we got a SOCOM MK20 SSR. Also here we got an operator mask with the talent Tenacious. Next here we got a prototype performance mod with 2% post critical hit damage. Also here we got a heavy magazine spring. For our next gear items, we're still at Camp Clinton. Head over to the special blueprints vendor, and here we got an ACR blueprint with a gear score of 256. We also got a firearms knee pad blueprint with a gear score of 256. And also here we got a small laser pointer blueprint with a power level 34. For our next gear items, head over to Dante's Run. Here the gear vendor has a tactical mask with the talent Tenacious. And also here we got a prototype performance mod with 7% seeker mine explosion radius. For our next gear items, head over to Autumn's Hope. Here the gear vendor has an operator vest with the talent Rapid. And also here we got a prototype firearms mod with 258 firearms and 2,985 health. For our next gear items, head over to Madison Stand. Here the gear vendor has a prototype stamina mod with 201 stamina and 3% damage to elites. For our next gear items, head over to the Southpaw. Here the gear vendor has a tactical pack with the talent Relentless. For our next gear items, head over to the Grindhouse. Here the weapons vendor has a heavy magazine spring. For our next gear items, head over to the Firewall. Here the gear vendor has a prototype performance mod with 7.50% support station range. For our next gear items, head over to West 31st Street checkpoint. Here the Dart Zone vendor has a tactical Vector 45 ACP. Next here we got a prototype electronics mod with 264 electronics and 2,845 skill power. And also here we got an extended magazine. For our next gear items, head over to West 34th Street checkpoint. Here the Dart Zone vendor has an extended magazine. For our next gear items, head over to West 42nd Street checkpoint. Here the Dart Zone vendor has a prototype performance mod with 4.50% ballistic shield damage resilience. For our next gear items, head over to West 53rd Street checkpoint. Here the Dart Zone vendor has a prototype performance mod with 2% post critical hit chance, and also here we got an extended magazine. For our next gear items, head over to East 61st Street checkpoint. Here the Dart Zone weapon mod vendor has a heavy magazine spring. Also here we got a Mega Rifle Suppressor. For our next gear items, head over to East 53rd Street checkpoint. Here the Dart Zone vendor has an operator pack with the talent Inventive. And also here we got a Mega Rifle Suppressor. For our next gear items, head over to East 42nd Street Checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a classic M1A. Next here we got a Spec Ops Mask with the talent refreshed. And also here we got an extended magazine. For our next gear items, head over to East 40th Street Checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a surplus SVD. Next here we got some Spec Ops gloves with the talent Savage on there. Also here we got a prototype performance mod with 7% mobile cover health. For our next gear items, head over to East 34th Street Checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a prototype stamina mod with 266 stamina and 2.50% exotic damage resilience. For our next gear items, head over to East 31st Street Checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a Vector 45 ACP. For our next gear items, head over to the 5th Ave Checkpoint. Here the Dark Zone vendor has a converted SMG 9A2. And also here we got a Gunslinger Vest with the talent Rapid. For our next gear items, head over to DZ2 Safe Room. Here the Dark Zone vendor has an Operator Mask with the talent Refreshed. Next here we got a Spec Ops Armor with the talent Reckless. Next here we got a Tactical Pack with the talent Inventive. For our next gear items, head over to DZ5 Safe Room. Here the Dark Zone Weapon Mod vendor has an extended magazine. For our next gear items, head over to DZ8 Safe Room. Here the Dark Zone Gear vendor has an Operator Pack with the talent Inventive. For our next gear items, head over to DZ9 Safe Room. Here the Dark Zone Weapon Mod vendor has a Vertical Grip. Alright everybody, that's it for our Untitled Clancy's The Division vendor reset video for May 28th, 2021's vendor reset. Hope everybody tuned into it, found them something that they needed. Smash on that sub and like button, y'all. Appreciate that support, and I'll see y'all with the next one, everybody. Take care, peace.